Willie D Live.
What's up, family? While speaking at the Cannes Festival, Oprah Winfrey revealed that Whitney Houston was once so high that she fell off her talk show stage. And to keep everything on the hush, she asked her audience not to share photos of the incident. Yeah, fam. And for that, they are dragging her all over the internet. I ain't got no problem with that. Check it out.
We did the whole, hey girl, how you doing, greeting thing. And then I stopped the cameras and I went behind stage and I said, so tell me, what do you want? What do you want to happen here? And I'm going to tell you what I want to happen here. And that was one of the most powerful interviews. And do you all know this is an amazing thing that happened? I had such trust from the Oprah show audience that Whitney did, I think it was her last show with us, and she had gone back on drugs. The first interview I did with her when we'd gone behind stage and I asked her about her intention, she was clean. But the day she came to my show then to perform in front of the audience, she was not. And she fell off of the stage. And I knew that if that story got out that she'd fallen off of the stage, that she would be destroyed by that. And so even though the audience was there and the audience had cameras, I begged them not to put those pictures out because it would ruin her life, and they did not.
And what about...
That would not happen today, I can tell you.
Yeah. What about...
So, Oprah, rather than ruining her life while she's living, you decide to ruin her reputation after she dies. Come on, Oprah. Come on now. I hear people talking about how Black people come after Oprah so often, and a lot of them are just jealous because she's rich. I don't know where people get this idea of people hating on Black people just because they're rich, just because they got money. Oprah has a long history of throwing Black people under the bus, specifically Black celebrities who embraced her, Black celebrities who allowed her to come into their lives, into their homes, to be around their children. Yeah, remember what she did to Mike? Man, Mike let her in. Mike gave her an all-access pass, and she took a dump on their so-called friendship after Mike died. You know, she would have never put that documentary out, that hit piece documentary out on Mike had Mike been alive, because Mike was still useful to her. Whitney was still useful to her when she was alive. Well, Whitney can't do anything for her now. Mike can't do anything for her now. So she puts them on blast. She did Mike the worst, though. I mean, this is bad, but she really did Mike bad by allowing these lying-ass people to come on her show and tell these stories about Michael Jackson, who, by the way, was exonerated a number of times in regards to allegations of abusing children sexually. I mean, a number of times. The same people who went on her show to accuse Michael Jackson of attacking them, they recanted their stories. Yeah. Others even said, man, my parents tried to make me lie on Mike. So Mike was just a lick to them. Mike was just a lick to Oprah. I vividly can see her at Neverland, relaxing, asking Mike all these questions, and Mike opening up to her, trusting her. You know, we tend to trust Oprah because Oprah is, you know, she's accomplished. But before she was accomplished, she was just very well spoken in regards to being able to communicate with us, right? She was very relatable. And at the same time, she looked the part. She was a good representation of Black excellence. But it seemed like the more she leaned to one side, the more she didn't care about what the other side thought. It took me a while before I decided to give up on it. It took a long time because I kept seeing these little micro, I would say, violations. And I was like, we can't throw Oprah away. Nah, she's too valuable. We can't throw her. We can't. And then finally, I was like, you know what? Deuces. Same thing with Stephen A. You know, you want to root for Stephen A. You know, brother doing his thing. He's on ESPN, the biggest platform in the world, one of the biggest platforms in the world. A brother got that spot. You want to ride for him. You want to root for him. But man, after consistently throwing us under the bus, consistently swinging from Donald Trump's disco balls, at some point you just got to say, you know what, dude, that's it. You know, dude can't be saved. You know, he ain't for us, point blank, period. And that's the way I see Oprah and Gail, same thing. They have consistently thrown Black people under the bus, especially Black men. And then that, by the way, is what made me turn on Oprah. She just kept on dogging Black men, telling Black women, well, you don't need a man, and you don't, while she got her man on the side. You don't need a man, and woo. You know, she was actually contributing to breaking up the Black family nucleus. Yeah. So I was like, I finally like, nah, because if you're not helping, you're hurting. And at that point, I saw that she was actually hurting. Going back to Whitney. Whitney had her faults, had her flaws, just like all of us. But Whitney was revered. Collectively, we absolutely adore Whitney Houston. We absolutely love her with all of her faults. We love Whitney Houston. So to hear anybody bring up some unsubstantiated past flaw or, something that paints her in a bad light, we're not having it. Point blank, period, we're not having it. That's why they are on social media lighting Oprah Winfrey up. Why would you do that? If the story has been concealed all of this time, all of these years, why not let it rest? Let me tell you something, fam. I got stories with people who I've worked with, and they are not good stories. If their fans knew those stories, they would look at them totally different. I'm not going to do that to them. I'm not going to do that. Not for some views, not for revenge, not for anything. I'm just not going to put that out there. I'm going to take those stories with me to my grave. And the funny thing about it is people don't have a problem taking certain stories to their grave if the story hurts them, if the story makes them look bad. But they don't mind throwing other people under the bus. Now, all of a sudden, it's her truth. Well, it's not just Oprah's story. I mean, it's not just Whitney's story. It's Oprah's story, too. Yeah, well, why Oprah ain't telling her side? How come we always hearing about everybody else? Why is Oprah not revealing her secrets? Why is she not revealing the things that she's done that will paint her in a bad light? No, it's always about somebody else's business. It's always what somebody else is doing. Everything is not for public consumption. And this is one of those things that we did not have to know. We know that, yeah, that sounds like, it sounds plausible because we know Whitney struggled with drugs, but we don't need to hear that. And another thing, I don't believe that there's photos out there because they would be out by now. Even if the audience decided at that time that they would honor Oprah's wishes and not release those photos, right now, those photos would be valuable. And people doing anything to get on these days, they can't hold something like that these days. They would absolutely put those photos out. You think they threw those photos away? You think they just deleted them after Oprah said, hey, can you not share it on social media? No. No. If they had them, they still got them. It's Whitney Houston. It's the Oprah Winfrey Show. If those photos existed, they would be out right now. So I'm not saying she didn't fall, but I think the story could be a little exaggerated. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.